off. Can you please tell me, Zunaira, what does this mean? How are you going to express this statement?
It means 2 by 3 multiplied by 6 by 9.
Okay, very good. That means 2 by 3 multiplied by 6 by 9. Very good. That means you know the previous concepts. Now we shall be moving ahead. The next thing is, okay, now we shall be studying about multiplying the fractions with whole numbers. Question. Do you have your NCERT textbook?
Yes.
Please open your textbook. Please open your textbook. Have you opened? So in that you have example number 1. Please open that. Zunaira, please open that chapter.
Yes.
Open the chapter fractions and decimals, and from that open example number 1. Example number 1 reads, in a class of 40 students, 1 by 5 of the total number of students like to study English. So what are the total number of students in the class? What are the total number of students?
Then 1 second. That's not the first example for me.
What is the first example in your textbook?
Write 5 equivalent fractions of 3 by 5.
Just give me a minute. Equivalent fractions are not there in your syllabus. That's already taught in the previous classes. Please, can you show me your textbook? Please show it on the screen. Is this your NCERT textbook? Or is it some other publication?
It's NCERT.
I'm sorry?
It is NCERT.
Okay, Sunaira, no problem. From the next class onwards, please make sure that you make a PDF of this book and send it to me. Okay, please share it with me so that I can refer to that book as well. For now, please look to this question. It is a very important question. So the question says that if there are, I'll explain you the question. Please look carefully. That there are 40 students in a class. Okay, so there is a class which contains 40 students, and out of those 40 students, we have 1 by 5 of total number of students like to study English. So the students that like to study English, it is written that 1 by 5 of the total number of students. So you can write 1 by 5 of, what is the total number of students?
40.
40. So you'll write 1 by 5 of 40. Can you solve this thing? Can we solve this thing? 1 by 5 of 40?
40 by 5.
It's basically 1 by 5 into 40. Right? Now 40 is in the numerator part and 5 is in the denominator. So you can just simply divide them. 5 into 8 is 40 and 8 into 1 is 8. So there are 8 students who like to study English. Okay? The next is the students that like to study mathematics. It's given, it's 2 by 5 of the total number of students. So what is 2? Can you just first of all frame a statement? 2 by 5 of total number of students, what will be the equation?
Multiplication.
2 by 5 of
40.
Yeah, 40. How will you solve this thing?
First, we have to multiply the numerator by 40. So then it'll be 80 by 5. And then we can
First of all,
divide.
you have to First of all, you have to remove off and write down multiply. This is the first step. Now you solve further. Yeah. 2 into 40 is 80. Now please divide 80 and 5. What do you get?
16.
Okay, 16. Good. So there are 40 students in a class. Out of those 40 students, 8 like to study English, 16 like to study maths, and is given that the remaining like to study science. Can you tell me what is the remaining number of students? How will you find the remaining number of students?
We have to add total number of students that like English and total number of students that like math, and then subtract it from the original number.
Yeah, you just do 40 and you subtract 8 plus 16. And when you just solve this expression, you get
24.
Yeah, you get 16. So 16 students like to study science, right? So this way, we've done one problem related to fractions. Now we have the lowest form and mixed fraction. Now what is the lowest form?
It means when you divide the number to reach the lowest point it can get.
Yeah. So how do we calculate the lowest form?
We
Do you
have
know
to
how?
divide it by one number, both the denominator and numerator.
Okay. And what is that number? It is the HCF, the highest common factor of both the numerator as well as the denominator. Okay, you solve a few questions regarding this thing. See, you have to multiply and reduce the lowest form and convert it into mixed fraction. So you have to do three things. First of all, you have to multiply. For example, you have 7 multiplied by 3 by 5. So first of all, you have to multiply. Please tell me what you will get by multiplying. What will you get by multiplying?
21 by 5.
Yeah, you will get 21 by 5. Now, is there any lowest form that exists for 21 by 5? Do they
No,
have any common factor?
no.
No, they do not have. So their highest common factor is 1 only. So on dividing by 1, you will get the same answer. That means there is no lowest form. So now what you'll do, you'll just simply just skip the second step because there is no lowest form. Just do it the third step, which is converting them into mixed fractions. Do you know how to convert fractions into mixed fractions?
Yes. You have to divide the denominator by the numerator,
Okay.
and then the quotient will be the whole number, and then the numerator will be the remainder, and the denominator will stay the same.
Okay, so please tell me what will be the mixed fraction for this number. I've already done the division for you. Denominator is same, you said. What will be
It'll
the
be
whole number?
4 1 by 5.
Very good. In a mixed fraction, we have three parts. We have a whole number, we have a numerator, and we have a denominator. So denominator shall remain same. The remainder acts as a numerator, and the quotient acts as the whole number. Okay. So I guess you can do such questions. These are pretty simple questions. Now, okay, there is one question where you have to like you have to find. Okay. The question says find 1 by 2 of, and you have several parts. Like you, first of all, you have to find 1 by 2 of 24. Then you have to find 1 by 2 of 46. Okay, like this. So you have two parts for this. So tell me what will be 1 by 2 of 24 and 1 by 2 of 46?
1 by 2 of 24 will be 12, and 1 by 2 of 46 will be 23.
Very good. Good. Now, please do this question also. 4 multiplied by 6 whole 1 by 3. What will be your answer? What's your answer, Zunera?
Uh, for the multiplication part, I got 76 by 3.
It can't be 76 by 3. It's okay, the total answer. Okay, let's check. Wait. I thought you were saying for this one. Okay, so 4 multiplied by, when you converted it into improper, what was your answer?
I got 76 by 3.
No, on converting this mixed fraction to the improper one.
I got 19 by 3.
Very good. Then you multiplied by it and you got 76 by 3. Okay, correct. Good, Zunera. Now we have the next thing. See, so I guess you've done all of these questions nicely. These were pretty simple questions. So we are clear with multiplying a fraction with a whole number, right? But now we are going to study dividing or multiplying fraction with a fraction only. What does that mean? First of all, we should be clear conceptually. Okay, see, when I said you have to divide a whole number, that means, see, like you have one pizza. So this is one whole. And then I say, please divide it into 3 parts. So what you did it like this. So you have 3 parts of this, and this is 1/3, right? This was 1/3. Now, just give me a minute, Zunaira. Okay. So now, but when I say that you have to divide this 1/3 into 2 more equal parts, what does that mean? Like you have this, I'll just zoom it for you. Like you have, this is the 1/3 part. Wait. This is 1/3 part of that whole pizza. And now I tell you to divide it into further 2 parts. So you have it like this. This is 1/2. But see, this 1/2, it's actually 1/2 of the 1/3 part, right? See, first of all, this was 1/3 of 1. So that means I was multiplying a fraction with a whole number, because I had one whole thing and I divided into 3 parts, and I'm talking one part of all those parts. So it was 1/3, only one part of all the 3 parts. So it was 1/3 of 1, because there was one whole part. Now, what is the whole in this case? See, if I zoom this thing out, the whole in this case becomes 1/3. This is the whole. This is 1/3 only. So now if I tell you to divide this whole part into 2 parts, so this shaded portion becomes 1/2 of the whole. And what is the whole? The whole is 1/3. So it becomes 1/2 of 1/3. So this is basically the concept behind multiplying whole numbers with fractions and multiplying fractions with fractions. Whenever you are dividing a certain whole thing into smaller parts, that means you are multiplying whole number with a fraction. But if you are dividing the fraction itself into smaller parts, it means you are multiplying a fraction with a fraction itself. Okay, do you understand this thing?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Shall we do some questions related to this?
Okay.
Okay. Now I have, like, consider I have 1/2 into 1/7. So how am I going to solve this thing? How am I going to solve this thing?
We just have to multiply them, the numerators and the denominators.
Okay, so what do you get? Tell me the answer.
1/14.
Yeah, you get 1/14. So it's pretty simple. The concept is simple only. You just have to multiply the numerator with the numerator and the denominator with the denominator, and you get the simple answer. Okay, so you can solve such questions. Now let's consider this thing. We have one more example, one more word problem. It's written that there is a girl named Sushmita. Okay, and Sushmita reads 1/3 part of a book in 1 hour. Okay. And then how much part of the book will she read in 2 whole 1/5 hour? How much will she read in 2 whole 1/5 hours? See, let's just go behind the concept of this question. So in 1 hour, Sushmita is able to read 1/3 part of a book. That means if a book has 90 pages in it, that means Sushmita will be able to read 30 pages out of that in 1 hour. Okay, so she's completing 1/3 part of the book in 1 hour. So now the question is that how much of the book will she read in 2 whole 1/5 hours? Okay, you can simply follow the unitary method to solve this thing. Just write down pages. Okay, let me change. Okay. So amount of book that she read in 1 hour. How much was it?
A third.
1/3. Amount of book that she's reading in 2 whole 1/5 hour. You will just simply multiply both these fractions, right? See, it's similar to the, for example, I say one chocolate costs you 10 rupees. So 20 chocolates will cost you how many rupees? You just multiply both the numbers, you multiply 10 and 20. So similarly, if in 1 hour she is able to read 1/3 of the book, in 2 whole 1/5 hours, she is able to read 1/3 into 2 whole 1/5 part of the book. So you can solve it. You get 5 into 2 plus 1, 21/5. Then you can multiply it further, get 21/15. Now, Zunera, question for you is, please convert 21/15 in its simplest form.
7/5.
You got 7/5. Very good. So she's able to read 7/5 part of the book in 2 whole 1/5 hours. Very good. Now we have
Yeah.
Zonera, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm sorry, actually, my meeting got disconnected. So I gave you a few questions. Please note them down. The first one is 1 by 3. Okay, these are the questions. The first one is 1 by 3 into 4 by 5. The second is 2 by 3 into 1 by 5. The third is 8 by 3 into 4 by 7. And the fourth is 3 by 4 into 2 by 3. Please solve these questions. Junela, are you able to solve these?
Yes. One second. For the first one, I got 4 by 15. For the second one, I got 2 by 15.
Just wait for a second, Junela. Note down your answer. Okay, the first one is 4 by 15. Okay, correct.
For
Second.
the second one, I got 2 by 16, 15.
Okay,
I got 32 by 21 for the third one.
okay, correct.
And for the last one, I got 6 by 12. And after simplifying to uh, uh, I got 1 by 2.
You got 1 by 2. Okay, that's also correct. Very good, Zanera. You've done all of them correctly. Pretty simple questions. Now we move ahead. We will be studying a concept. Okay. See, do you know proper and improper fractions? Please tell
Yes.
me what are those? What are proper fractions?
Proper fractions are when the denominator is larger than the numerator, and improper fractions are when the numerator is larger than the denominator.
Okay, that's pretty simple. I don't have to explain that thing. So now what happens if I have two proper fractions? Give me example of any two proper fractions.
2 by 4 and 7 by 16.
Okay, and 7 by 16. Very good. Now please multiply these and tell me the answer.
14 by 64.
14 by 64. Okay. Now, Zainaira, tell me one thing. Do you know how to compare fractions?
Hmm.
So please, can you compare 2 by 4 and 14 by, please first of all also convert 14 by 64 to the simplest form. What do you get? You will get 7 by 32. You get 7 by 32 only.
Yes.
Okay, good. So please, can you compare 2 by 4 and 7 by 32? 2 by 4 was the first fraction. Please compare 2 by 4 and 7 by 32.
Ma'am, 2 by 4 is greater than 7 by 32.
Okay, 2 by 4 is greater than 7 by 32. How did you do it? We basically cross multiply, right? So when you multiply 2 into 32, you'll get 64, and 4 into 7, you'll get 28. Since 64 is greater than 28, that means 2 by 4 is greater than 7 by 32. Okay, that's very basic. Now, we'll also compare the next fraction. The next fraction is 7 by 16. So we'll also compare 7 by 16 with 7 by 32. Okay, and let's check what do we get. 7 by 16 and the answer was 7 by 32. Let's compare them. When we cross multiply, we do 7 into 32, and here we'll do 7 into 16. We clearly know 7 into 32 will be greater. That means 7 by 16 is greater, and here 2 by 4 was greater, right? So what happens? See, both of these were proper fractions. So whenever I have a proper fraction and I multiply both of these fractions, this was a proper fraction, this was also a proper fraction, so I'm getting a certain answer. So the answer will always be smaller than both of the fractions if both of the fractions were proper fractions. Okay, so if my question gives you both of the fractions as proper fractions, so the answer will always be smaller than both of the fractions. Okay, you get this thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we'll check for improper fractions. Give me an example of any improper fraction.
6 by 5
Okay,
and
second one.
8 by 10.
Okay, so these are improper fractions because the numerator, see, the 8 by 10 is not improper.
Sorry, 10 by 8.
You can make it 8 by 7. Okay, see, 8 by 7 and 6 by 5. Okay, both of these are improper fractions. Now when I multiply them, what I will get here? 6 times 8 is 48, and 5 times 7 is 35. So I'll get 48 and 35. Right, now let's try to compare these. Let's compare 6 by 5 and 48 by 35. So I'll basically I'll cross multiply. Here I'll get 6 into 35, and here I'll get 5 into 48. Clearly 5 into 48 will be greater. You can multiply it also. 5 into 40. You get 240 here and 210 over here. That means 48 by 35 is greater. Okay. 48 by 35 is greater. Now next I'll do for 8 by 7 I'll compare. So I do 8 by 7 and 48 by 35. So when I compare these, I get 8 into 35 and 48 into 7. Okay, I'll multiply it and get. Just give me a second, Sunera. I'm sorry. Okay, so when I multiply them, I'll first multiply 8 into 35 and then I'll do 48 into 7. Okay, so I do 8 into 35, 8 5 40 and 8 3 24, 28 I get. And here I'll get 48 into 7. I'll get 336. Okay, I know 336 is greater than 280. That means 48 by 35 is greater than 8 by 7. Right. So see, when I take improper fractions, what happens? The answer that I get on multiplying both of the improper fractions, the answer is going to be greater than both the individual fractions. Okay. But when I'm talking about proper fractions, what happens? My answer is going to be lesser than both of the individual fractions. So this is a key concept. Please know this thing. Okay. Is it clear to you?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, you have to compare these fractions. I'll give you a few questions. Please compare them and tell me the answer. So the first one is 2 by 7 and I'm sorry. Okay, you have 2 by 7 and 3 by 4. No, wait. You have to do 2 by 7 of 3 by 4 and 3 by 5 of 5 by 8. So you basically have to first solve this thing, then you have to solve this thing, and then you have to compare the answers. Okay. The first one is 2 by 7 of 3 by 4, and the second is 3 by 5 of 5 by 8. Please solve this and tell me, are you able to do this thing? So,
Ma'am,
get your answer. Yeah.
15 by 40, I mean, 3 by 3 by 5 of 5 by 8 is greater than 2 by 7 of 3 by 4.
Okay, let's check the answers. So first of all, you did 2 by 7 of 3 by 4. You got 6 by 28. And here you did 3 by 5 of 5 by 8. So you'll get 3 by 8. Okay, now I'm comparing 6 by 28 with 3 by 8. 6 into 8 and 3 into 28. Clearly 3 by 28, 3 into 28 will be greater. Okay, okay, good. So your answer is correct. Now we've completed with the second part of the, we've completed two parts of this chapter. This chapter has several parts. The first one was multiplying fractions with whole numbers that we studied in the previous class. Today we completed multiplying fractions with fractions. Is there any doubt in this section, Zunaira? Do you wish to ask anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay, this is a pretty simple chapter. It'll be easy to solve questions of this lesson. So I'll give you some homework, okay? I'll give you some homework from exercise 2.1. I'll post it in the assignment section. Please do that homework and submit it by tomorrow. Fine?
Okay.
Okay, now we'll continue in the next class. That's all for today.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, Aisha. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Aisha, please put on your camera. Okay. So Aisha, we have to discuss one assignment today, right? We have an assignment to discuss. Just give me a second, I'll open that assignment.
Ma'am, I cannot hear you clearly.
Aisha, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am. Now.
Okay. Is my voice clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So we have an assignment to discuss, and it has questions from various different lessons. So we start from the first one itself. The first lesson is rational numbers. Okay, please put on your mic. Yeah. So the first one is rational numbers. Have you solved this assignment by yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So please tell me the answer. Uh, if you do not know the answer, we'll discuss it. The rational number. What is
First,
the additive identity of a rational number? Tell me, Aisha. Do you know the additive identity?
yes, 0.
Aisha, please put on your mic. Yeah, very good. It's zero. Zero is the additive identity of any rational number, because whenever we add zero to any number, we're going to get the same number only, right? For example, consider 1 plus 0, you'll get 1. Or consider I'm sorry. Okay. Or we say 2 plus 0, you're going to get 2 only. So that is the additive identity, right? Okay, then what is the multiplicative identity of rational numbers? What is the multiplicative identity? Okay, Aisha, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we were discussing the multiplicative and the additive identity. So we know that the additive identity is multiplicated by identity.
Ma'am,
Aisha, do
your
you hear me?
ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Aisha, do you hear me?